Got your back tonight with complete coverage of this winter storm.
Yeah, a lot of schools let out early today. Some have already announced plans to close tomorrow. We get a list of closings, parking restrictions, all at the bottom of your screen.
We begin tonight with live team coverage. Meteorologist Erica Martin, of course, is tracking that storm. Meteorologist Sam Cantro is out in the mobile weather lab.
Also, Teresa Dufour has the traffic report. We're hearing about a whole bunch of accidents tonight. Aaron Logan, Bob Wilson, Tina Dettell, all out covering the conditions in West Haven, Hartford, and Norwich.
We're going to start tonight with Storm Team 8 meteorologist Erica Martin. Erica?
And Darren, right now the conditions are really starting to pick up. The storm is deepening, the low is rather, and the storm is picking up strength there. Clouds and radar picking up a great image here. You can see that darker blue band that's showing us that we have those heavier snow showers moving across the state, right across central Connecticut along the I-95 corridor. You're seeing Fairfield County getting pounded right now, and this isn't even the worst of it. We do expect more through the overnight hours later tonight. Finally, the system will clear by tomorrow, but we have a lot more to come. So we bottom out in the single digits across the state. Keep in mind, last night at 10 and at 11, I mentioned that the second issue, of course, after the storm would be that Arctic air mass sliding into place. So this is what we have right now, single digits across the entire state with those northerlies gusting up to 30, maybe even 35 miles per hour at times. Really important. That's very cold air sliding right into place, which will be consistent with that snowstorm. And that's why conditions definitely will be severe. So poor visibility right now, even we're seeing that's going to get worse as the night progresses. Only 1 mile visibility in Danielson for Old Saybrook, Middletown 2, our capital city at 3, and New Haven 1. So keep in mind conditions out there are severe, especially when it comes to driving. So I recommend staying indoors if you can once you're already home. Current wind chill values seeing below 0 for Torrington, 2 below in Windsor Locks, 1 below in Danbury and our capital city. It feels like a chilly 1 degree. That's it. That's a lonely number there. Coming up in my full forecast, of course, I have your hour-by-hour forecast, and we're going to examine our snowfall total map to see what we're going to get when it's all said and done by tomorrow morning. Back to you. Sam is live in the mobile weather lab, and he has more information. Sam, it's not looking too good out there. What's going on out there?
Yeah, I mean, the conditions out here, to be honest with you, they're kind of horrible. We're driving right now southbound on I-95. Now, what we're seeing is that the cars, they're really not going very quickly at all. The traffic's really not too bad over here, but the roads, to be honest with you, are just kind of horrendous. Now, we haven't seen a single plow truck go by. We haven't seen a single truck sanding, a single truck salting, and even with the temperatures as cold as they are right now, they might not be able to do too much good. On the weather lab right now, the current temperature reading is only 10.9 degrees, so it is really bad. We've actually noticed a couple cars doing stuff that are big no-nos. One of the things that we've noticed is we've seen a few cars that have been pulling onto the highway, and they decide that's the time that they will go over and try and clean off their windshield or the side of their car. So not safe to do that. Make sure you clean off your car before you head out on the roadways. Going to give you some more safety tips coming up at 5:30. For now, we will be safe. We'll throw back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Sam, thanks very much. As you can see, the conditions out there are kind of getting worse by the minute now. The snow started in New Haven just before noon today.
So let's take a live look now. These are conditions that are happening right outside our New Haven studios. That's Elm and State Street. Looks like a lot of people are heeding the warning just to stay home and stay off the streets if you can.
Which is a good idea. Let's see the big travel picture now. Let's check it out. Teresa Dufour has a live look at planes, trains, and automobiles tonight, and it is a mess, right, Teresa?
Yeah, we've got you covered here. I just checked in with Lieutenant Vance. He's told me that state police have responded to 94 accidents so far today. Here's what the majority of them are looking like: minor fender benders that are just jamming things up. 95 southbound here at exit 15, you'll notice no one is moving anywhere quickly. This guy's been waiting for a tow truck for quite some time, and it's causing huge delays. Stanford is not moving quickly at all. 95 northbound and southbound by exit 8. The Merritt Parkway is basically at a standstill for our New Haven commuters. So if you're trying to leave the city or get in, 91 is really jammed up starting at exit 8. That continues all the way down to the 95 merge. A lot of red cars on the map indicating a slow go all across the state. Couple other accidents here. If you're traveling on the Berlin Turnpike, you are also not moving. Two separate accidents along Route 515 right by Wells Road. We're also dealing with an accident here, 91 southbound, 22 to 21. Let's take a look at the trains and the planes here. Bradley has already canceled 14 flights for tomorrow. LaGuardia, Newark, you can see for yourself up to close to 1,000 flights canceled. AAA, they've received more than 700 calls, and they keep on coming in. If you're planning to travel by train tomorrow, it's a modified schedule, so you're advised to call ahead. That's the same situation on the airways. And then for DOT, they have their entire fleet of plows out there. That's 634 plows trying to keep the roads clear. You can check the traffic cameras before you leave the house at WTNH.com. Darren, Ann, back to you.
Teresa, thank you. It is tricky out there with the wind whipping that snow. We're going to head out now live to News 8's Erin Logan.
Yeah, she's in West Haven tonight and has been watching the conditions deteriorate there. Erin?
Darren, and as Teresa Dufour showed you from the traffic cams in the studio, it's starting to get a little dicey out here. 95 south kind of moving along okay. 95 north, not so good, and it's been that way since about 3 o'clock this afternoon when we got out here. And joining me live is my new friend Jeff Donaldson with Absolute Best Plow. Jeff, you came right up to me when you saw me pull over and you said, not a good scene on the road.
No, not at all. They should have really called work a half day. Probably let people out around 12 o'clock.
What types of things? You said you saw some accidents in the Milford area?
I saw about 10 spin-outs between like exit 34 and here exit 42. It's just crazy.
People speeding?
Yeah. Actually, I saw a couple going the other way also. So, actually saw a couple of people with flat tires too. I don't know what that was all about, but right in the middle of the road with flat tires. So.
People just not prepared for this.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Driving too fast.
One last question. You have a smile on your face. A lot of people are miserable right now. What's your advice on how to keep your cool right now?
Go home and stay warm. Light a fire.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Yeah, you might want to get a hot cup of coffee for the ride home. If you haven't even started yet, it's going to be a long ride home. Maybe even some Advil to get rid of the headaches. Live in West Haven, Erin Logan, News 8.
All right, Erin, we got to chip in and get her some gloves, too.
Yeah, no kidding. For the next live shot, right?
That's right. All right, take a look now. These are the conditions in Middletown. This is a look from our camera. It's high atop the Middlesex Corporate Center. It's whiteout conditions. You can hardly see anything out there.
Also, take a look at this. Switch the camera now. This is the one overlooking Waterbury. Same story there. It doesn't seem to be quite as heavy as it was in the center of the state, but most of Connecticut right now is feeling this storm coming down. News 8's Bob Wilson is live for us tonight in Hartford.
And Bob, how are things there?
Well, it's the wind out here. Right now, there's not a whole lot of snow. As a matter of fact, you can still see the grass, the green tips poking through the snow. But it has messed up the highways pretty good here. Coming in Interstate 84, up and down 91. Very, very slow, especially in that Mixmaster. However, the tip for the day is take the side streets. Coming in and out of the city, things are pretty good in Hartford, especially if you stick to like the back roads, not the main arteries that you usually do, like stay away from Main Street. But if you can get to a side road, it's pretty abandoned in those areas. You can make some good time, obey the stop signs, obviously. And it is very slippery. It's just the timing of the storm coming right here. It's just picking up as the rush hour is picking up, and things are getting pretty slippery out there. Everybody taking it slow. And be patient. I saw some people beside me in the car when I was driving in. They were dancing to the music, and they had the right idea. Just relax, have fun, and just get home safely. I'm Bob Wilson, reporting live in Hartford, News 8.